guys, welcome back. I'm sitting in the same place, exact same clothes, same everything, recording multiple videos. If you have no clue what I'm talking about and you are watching this video and not the others, welcome or thank you for watching and coming back or anything like that. But yes, I was just gonna make a quick update because I ended up having to go to hospital. I noticed that little miss had not been moving much throughout the whole day. This was a few days ago now that I'm making the update like a few days later. But I noticed that she wasn't moving as much as normal. So I come home, I ate and lay down like I normally would on a night, and she becomes really active that she is like, you can feel her coming out kind of everywhere. Just try to adjust my camera a little bit. There, that might be a bit better. So yes, like she's just very active on a night. It kind of creeps me out a little bit, but she's very active. My belly kind of does the wave. You think she's here, there and everywhere. But this night she just was not. I think I got maybe one kick on the night and I was like, this is not her normal self. So I rang the pregnancy assessment unit and they advised me to go straight in. This was maybe 9:30 at night when I was called to go in. So when I rang and they told me to go in. So I had to go on my own, which is so frustrating. I will not go into it because I will rant and rant about it. But I had to go on my own. Lee was not allowed to come on the assessment unit with me. They said he could wait outside, but I thought, well, what's the difference between him waiting at home or waiting outside of the pregnancy assessment unit? There's just no reason him like to get someone to watch the boys if he's not going to be allowed in. So anyway, like I said, I'll not go into it because it makes me so angry. But I got there, they asked if I could do a sample as soon as I arrived. Well, I had to get my temperature checked first and then asked to do a sample. I did a sample, then I was took straight to my room, like my little room, put on the bed, and they just put me straight on the monitor after they checked my blood pressure and pulse and everything. My pulse was high, like my heart rate was high. Which they said, well, just check in a little while. It could be that you've just got here. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So we got like I don't know if you've seen them or not. I do have a picture I will insert. But they put the straps on. And they'd give me like a little button to press every time I feel a kick. The machine was picking up the kicks as well. And as soon as I got there and got strapped up, she started to wiggle, like non-stop wiggle. So they were like, yep, that happens so much that you would actually laugh at how much it happens. So then they said that the tracing usually lasts 20 minutes. But to get off the tracing, you have to have good movement for 20 minutes and a good steady tracing of the heart rate. Well, because she becomes so active, we couldn't get her tracing for her heart rate because she kept moving away from the little monitor thing. So in the end, the midwife, I think maybe we tried for around an hour where she kept moving and it started to pick up my heart rate. So it's going from her 150 to my 90 and then going back to her 150. So it was very unsteady. So it wouldn't pick up as like hitting their criteria. So the midwife in the end had to sit in the room with me and hold it like really tight, like pushing on my tummy. And she says, I'm so sorry, you're going to end up marked after this. I was like, it's okay, I want to get home. By this point, it was 11 o'clock and I was just ready to get home. So the midwife was in holding it. Another one had come in and said, if you can get a good tracing for 10 minutes, I can go home. It got to about 8 minutes and then little miss got the hiccups because we'd had it, like the midwife was following around my belly with it. And she got the hiccups and it started picking up the hiccups. So it was picking up as 32 heartbeats. So it of course stopped the tracing again. So they told me by this point, that was after 11 o'clock at night, and they'd said, have 10 minutes, let her get rid of her hiccups, go to the toilet if you need to, have a glass of water, and then we'll try again. So we come back after the hiccups to try again, and little miss had calmed down, so I think she was kind of starting to rest. And so we put them back on and the midwife didn't have to hold it anymore. It was picking up nicely. She'd, like I said, stopped moving. But then her heart rate was too high. Originally, when we first went in, it was 150. And then when she finally settled, it went up to 170 and then highs of 190. So they're like, this won't count in the criteria because we don't want it to be above 160 at this point. So I was like, oh. So they give me 2 glasses of water, which I had to drink quickly, and they said it maybe because I hadn't had a drink since getting there, because when I went for a walk I didn't actually have anything to get a drink with. I didn't take a bottle with me or anything because I kind of just rushed out the door. So I had a couple glasses of water, and they said because you could be dehydrated because it is a hot day, it could be that's why her heart rate's up, and that's why mine could have been up when I got there. So they give me the water, and then it was maybe about 10 minutes after having the water, her heart rate come down, and it was enough to get a tracing. By this point, it was midnight. We got a tracing finally at midnight. Her heart rate went really high. We finally got it down. It then kind of went a bit too low. It was going to 130 to 120, and that's kind of like the low end of what they like. So we kind of wanted it to get back to around the 150 mark where she was at before. So yeah, the midwife had come in and said she's just going from one extreme to the other. I was like, I know, I just want to go home. I'm so tired. I had my sister-in-law awake to take me home because she drove me there. She was going to drive me back. And she had work really early the next day. I felt so awful, but she was like, no, it's fine. Like, it can't be helped. So in the end, I finally managed to hit the criteria, and we managed to come home and everything was fine. We went in for a reduced movement, and then it was a heart rate, and like basically just her moving too much to pick up her heart rate. So it was a 20-minute race and ended up about 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think I finally got home at 12:30 midnight, so 12:30, and I just got in and I went straight to bed because of course I had the boys here to be up for. And yeah, it was quite tiring. The bed it wasn't like a bed, it was like a chair, so it was really hard. And I think I have a trapped nerve in the bottom of my back. So when I was laid, both my legs went numb and I couldn't really feel my feet because the way I was slouched on the bed, it wasn't comfortable, and I was so achy the whole next day. I think I lay on an airbed most of the day, other than obviously looking after the boys as much as I could. Luckily, Lee was off work. But yeah, it was not fun. I went for a 20-minute race and then ended up in hospital for 2.5 hours. And it wasn't even for the reason I went in for, because her movement picked up as soon as I went in. But I do not regret going to get her checked because it stopped the worry. And of course there is, I think they said 1 in 10 chance that it is something to worry about. They said 9 out of 10 times baby's fine and they've just been lazy, but it's always good to be safe and get checked just for that one person. So yeah, anyway, this video is so much longer than I wanted to, but I just didn't want to miss anything, and there was so much went on. It felt like I was there for hours and hours. I know I was there for hours and hours, but it felt like I was there for a lot longer than I was. The midwife was lovely, and I had a mask on the whole time, and I don't think I needed it on, but I kept it on anyway, so that was a bit awful because I hate wearing masks. But anyway, I will just leave this video here because it is a lot longer than I wanted it to be. So thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. There will be more pregnancy updates and everything coming soon. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.